Warning, this update contains spoilers. Hopefully really good ones about Season 7 of Outlander, so proceed with haste. Well, it happened. We got a trailer and a soft release date for Outlander Season 7. I mean, I was already looking forward to this summer, but now? And while I did have a whole other script written for this week's video, I think the best thing I could do now is take the time to break down this trailer and what we might learn from the images we've been given for this upcoming season. The second best thing I can do is release it a day early because it's Christmas, so why not? Welcome to Katie's Corner in Space as we count the weeks while we wait for Season 7. And now, here's your week 34 Outlander survival video, with a twist. And there are some great hints about what we may expect, as it seems a few storylines will be revealed and possibly concluded in Season 7. There are scenes that play fan service to just about each kind of fan, whether they're here for the history, the romance, the mysteries, or just the overall drama of the story. Plus, there are two particular scenes, one honoring the book and one showing us the show creators are still free to do their own thing from time to time. So let's break this thing down to see what clues we may glean. This is definitely a video where I encourage comments and discussion below because this is just some juicy info here. Also, don't forget to share with your fellow Droughtlanders. No one should suffer alone. I'll be taking these images for the most part in order as they appear in the trailer, so we of course will be opening with Jamie as he looks out past the camera, looking very thoughtful, and Claire running out with some haste. A good beginning to the trailer, letting viewers know something is afoot in the world of Outlander from the beginning. Then we have a pair of riders in what I like to call an atmospheric action scene. These are the wide views we often get of people going from one place to another to move the story along, while giving us viewers a chance to see the beauty of the land the characters are traveling. In this trailer, we also get simple atmospheric images which have no characters in them but also give us some amazing views of the countryside, and I always appreciate the time taken to capture some really incredible images. Now there's also a quick pass over a tree marker for Fraser's Ridge. Those border markers we saw Jamie putting up in Season 4 when he just received the land, which makes me wonder, will there be some dispute over the land or simply on the land, or is it just another atmospheric image? Next up, a fire, one can only assume, and it seems clear among others are attempting to put it out. The obvious conclusion is we may be seeing some scenes here concerning that fateful house fire we've heard so much about. Though since Claire is definitely not inside dying, there are a few possibilities, such as it's a whole other fire, the show creators decided to take some liberties story-wise, or the damn newspaper article was a bit wrong as hell. Okay, yeah, one of those is correct and it's probably really obvious, but I couldn't help myself. At least if the showrunners stay anywhere near the house fire storyline in the book, which they seem to be in most ways so far, then can I just take a moment to say that the conclusion of the big house goes up in flames subplot just irked me, because, I mean, sloppy work in a professional is always upsetting, and I'll leave it at that. Moving right along, we get our lusty moment because, let's face it, it wouldn't be Outlander without a little loving between the main characters. But I'd like to point out something here that caught my eye, and maybe I'm nuts, but is Claire's hair missing something? Namely, the white hairs the makeup and costume department has been meticulous in adding over the last few years. Maybe it's just me, but do you see it? Please comment below because this could be a flashback, maybe later in the season after her hair has grown back she decided to find a way to dye it. That feels unlikely though, so thoughts? Of course, the declaration has been made. It took me a few tries, but I managed to get an image where the date is semi-clear and the text can be read. You don't have to be a history buff to recognize the date, nor that first sentence. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and so on. Admittedly, I cheated and visited a website to make sure I got the wording right, and as usual, you can find that link below. But oh boy, it's getting started. The revolution is coming, and that is going to be an interesting thing to watch our characters navigate. But back to the trailer. One of the moments honoring the book comes up here with Brianna, Jamie, and the Fireflies, and I'm very pleased to see that. Cannot wait to see it on screen. And there's Jamie washing, always a fan favorite. Then we have some concern shared between mother and daughter, and it looks to me more concern of a mother for a daughter, which could be for a few things we know are coming. Possibly it has to do with her pregnancy, a problem with another resident on the ridge, or maybe with Jemmy, or the new addition to the Mackenzie clan. So something worrisome is coming concerning Brianna, or so it seems. Then a funeral procession where Claire is apparently alone. Are we supposed to believe Jamie is in the box? Someone dear to Claire in another way? Possibly a loss from that fire. Well, the image is a bit worrisome. Where's the rest of Claire's family? It's just not good. Next we see Brianna, and I believe she is enjoying the wonders of childbirth, which really makes the next image look like the men just waiting for news of a baby, but I doubt that's what's happening here. Could be a deep conversation concerning the revolution, whatever has Claire so concerned in the earlier image, or really anything concerning the future of the country, the ridge, or the family. Yeah, that one's no real help either, is it? Now, the ship at sea is no surprise. We've been expecting some tales at sea or near the sea since the first behind-the-scenes images came out. And while there are no clips of Lord John or William, we do have this. The gem Jamie turned over to Lord John at Arsmuir all those years ago, and a keepsake John has kept with him ever since. I thought a very nice touch to the trailer. And now we come to young Ian, who I can only describe as looking determined. And we have to remember his story here is complicated by his love for two worlds he very much feels a part of. So again, I'm very interested in seeing his story on screen as well. Now let's talk about Claire on the scaffolding. This image is quite familiar from an earlier season, and I'm pretty sure it was purposeful because, well, it's not a familiar one from the book. Again, I may be recalling incorrectly, but to my fellow book readers, this is a new one, yes? So exactly how she gets to this point should be very interesting. Maybe this action was needed to make another upcoming subplot a bit easier to go along with or introduce. It should be entertaining either way. And finally, we have Claire and Jamie looking very bit the happy cuppy. Very happy cuppy. Oh my goodness. And finally, we have Claire and Jamie looking every bit the happy couple with everything going just fine. Which, of course, we know it isn't, because what kind of story would that be? But this is the ending we are hoping for, just not quite yet. So what does this trailer tell us? Well, quite a few things. We can tell from the fact that Claire's hair is longer in some scenes, and she's presumably on the ridge at a big fire. She's not going to be hung. Though hanging a main character was probably not going to happen anyway. We know a funeral procession, which is Claire leading the way, will take place, and this does not bode well for our hero, but again, what writer would kill off one of the main characters? So he's probably safe in the long run. A fire is coming, and Claire definitely looked devastated as something burned in front of her. It looks like the showrunners are once again following as much of the story as they can in the time allotted, taking liberties needed to move the story along on screen, and changing enough things so that the readers are getting their story, but with some new bits so it stays fresh and interesting even if you have the books memorized, which I do not. I will tell you, however, that while taking these screen captures as I prepared, I did get a little emotional. I didn't quite cry, but I felt tears trying to well up as I realized just how close we are now. Okay, maybe it's not early spring like I'd hoped, but to know we definitely aren't going to be waiting until next winter for episode 1 is just incredible, and a wonderful gift from Starz to have at least a better idea as to when we will finally be able to continue with this amazing show. And until it starts up, you should absolutely check out some of my other Outlander videos, and I will see you there.